How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. So we're out for another night in the woods here, myself and my two dogs, Molly and Goose. So as you can probably tell, there's not a lot of snow left here in central Newfoundland. It's only March 18th, I believe, and this time of year here in central Newfoundland, it's usually prime time for winter activities, you know, snowmobiling, snowshoeing, winter camping, and that kind of thing. But this winter has been unseasonably mild and just a lack of snow altogether, really. So I was hoping to get out in my canvas tent this weekend for a trip, but there's just not enough snow to lug all the gear out in the woods. So I decided to just throw some gear in a backpack, and I'm gonna hike out to this spot. It's a little campsite that I made for myself there back in December. I did a video there. I'll put a tag on the screen here. If you haven't seen that one, feel free to check it out. So I didn't take a tent tonight. I just got my my 10 by 10 tarp. So we're gonna be setting up a tarp shelter and spending the night under the tarp. We got some good food to cook up on the fire, so should be a good night. Stay tuned. We made it. All right, well, we made it. I worked up quite the sweat on the way in, which I was hoping to avoid, but usually the way it goes. So yeah, there's a bit of ice in the cove, but the ice looks super sketchy. And that's one thing that I actually never thought about until I got out here. But yeah, I'm gonna have to keep a close eye on the dogs here throughout the day and the evening, because I don't want them going out there at all. If they go through, not gonna be good. So well, looks like we had a visitor here since last time I was here. Some fresh moose poop right here on our campsite. So yeah, it doesn't look old, doesn't look very old at all. So I didn't see any tracks on the way in, but there's definitely been a moose here within the last couple of weeks anyways. Fresh poop right on top of the snow, right on our fire pit. So yeah, hopefully we won't have any visitors wandering through camp in the middle of the night, but we'll see, I guess. So priority now is to get the tarp set up. So it is calling for some rain showers this afternoon. I'm hoping we don't get it, but I'm gonna go ahead and set the tarp up anyways, have that done, and hopefully if we get any rain, then I'll be able to tuck my stuff away under the tarp and get out of the rain if need be. So just putting the tarp up here now. So I use just a bowline knot on the first end of my ridge line, and then I wrap it around the tree and use a little toggle to keep it on there, and that allows for a quick release when you're taking it down. And then on the other end of the ridge line, I used a trucker's hitch, and that allows you to really cinch the ridge line tight. So anyways, I'm not going to go into too much detail on the knots. Goose is digging a big hole here by the camera. Goose, what are you looking for? So yeah, if you guys are interested in learning how to do these knots, there's thousands upon thousands of YouTube videos available on how to tie these knots. So anyways, I brought a roll of bank line here. So this is a smaller diameter line than my ridge line. And I'm going to use this to do 2 prusik knots to put on my ridge line, and that'll keep the tarp tight on the ridge line. So just tie an overhand knot. And then I'll use this for my prusik knot on my ridge line. So the prusik knot will slide back and forth on the ridge line, but when you pull tension on it, it bites onto the ridge line, so it doesn't move. So that's what I'll use to secure the loop on the tarp on each end. I'll put my my smaller diameter prusik knot through here, put a toggle through, and then slide that back. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Molly. Alright, well, we got the tarp up. Now I kind of forgot how big this tarp was. It's huge. But anyways, this will do for us for tonight. We got moose poop all over the place here. So I meant to bring my little collapsible shovel, and if I brought that, I probably would have shoveled all this snow out of here, because there's not that much. There's only a couple inches on the ground, so I could have shoveled it out, but I forgot to bring it, so we'll have to make do. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I just had a conversation with my father. Molly, come here. I just had a conversation with my father there this morning about how we didn't think there was very many moose left around this area, and I still don't think there is, because this is the area that we moose hunt in, and we were saying how we hadn't seen any fresh moose sign or anything in a long time. And then I hike out to this spot and there's fresh moose crap all over the place, so I guess there's still a few hanging around. So yeah, I think the next thing to do is I'm going to get a bunch of spruce boughs and put down on top of the snow here. And then I got a reflective blanket that I'll put down. And then I got 2 air mattresses, so one for myself and one for the dogs. So I'll put those down on top of the reflective blanket. That should keep us insulated from the snow for the night. Then I'm going to clean up this this old fire pit. Is too close to the tarp. It's actually underneath of the tarp here now. So I'm going to clean that up and move it out a little bit. And then we got to get some firewood, and then we'll get the fire going. Probably have a coffee or something before supper. And then I got some really good food to cook up over the fire later, so looking forward to that. Not too bad. A little bit of insulation off the snow anyways. I might get a few more boughs later. We'll see how it goes. See how much time I have. Yeah, time to go cut some firewood. Holy shit. Goose ran right in under the tree as it was falling. Luckily it didn't get him. Oh man, that dog. Still working. Yeah, I just found this one dead standing spruce tree, probably about 100 yards away, and so I decided to cut that and drag it back. So I'm gonna cut this one up now, and then I'll go see if I can find a little more wood to go along with it. So it's supposed to be Goose is blocking the camera as usual. Yeah, so it's only supposed to get down to about -3 degrees Celsius, -3, -4, so not too bad. So I won't need to keep the fire burning all night long or anything. So I just need enough wood to cook supper and just sit around the fire for a few hours. But yeah, I'm gonna cut this one up now, and I'll see how much I get out of this, and then I'll probably spend another hour or so just gathering up some more wood around camp here, and then I'm gonna get the fire going. Alright guys, back up. Back up. Goose, go play in the woods, bud. So Goose is absolutely obsessed with sticks. So every time I get the axe or the saw, or I go to pick up a piece of wood, he immediately thinks that I'm picking it up for him. I'm going to throw it for him, and he's just obsessed with it. And it's going to get him in trouble one of these days because he keeps running underneath the trees when I'm cutting them down, and he's always right in front of me. So I gotta be careful. You're a good girl, aren't you, Molly? Molly here is almost 11 years old, about 10.5 years old, and she's a good dog. She's slowing down a lot, but she finally got it all figured out. Don't ya? She had her wild days too, just like Goose here, but now she's slowing down. She's a good dog. She don't make it out on every trip with me anymore because, like I said, she's slowing down a lot, and she just don't have the interest in going sometimes. I think she'd just assume stay home, and I don't want to push her too hard. But when I was packing up my gear this morning to get ready to go, she was pretty interested, and she jumped right in the truck when I was packing up my gear. So figured I'd take her along. Good girl. All right, boys, we got to get this wood cut up. And this Boreal 24 saw is absolutely awesome. So I had the Boreal 21 all along, the 21-inch version. And I think I mentioned this in a video before, but yeah, since I've been using this 24-inch model, now when I pick up the 21-inch, it just seems so small. This one just cuts through the wood just like butter. So this one's fairly new, still got a new blade on it, so just cuts through the wood like nothing. So I decided to bring my small axe today for some reason. So this is a Grantsford Brooks small forest axe, and a while ago I started to bring a bigger axe, about a Husqvarna axe. I don't even know the size of it exactly, but it's probably about 4 inches longer on the handle, and it's got a bigger head, but it's still small enough to strap to the side of my pack. So I've been using that Husqvarna axe most of the time, and it's a lot more effective for splitting wood than this small forest axe. So yeah, I bought this one a few years ago. So this is a really popular little axe. If you guys watch a lot of YouTubers like bushcraft channels and stuff, this Grantsford Brooks small forest axe is like real popular the last few years. So I went ahead and bought one, but to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it because, like I said, for splitting firewood, which is the main reason I carry an axe at all, it's not ideal for splitting. It's got a real narrow head on it, and it's kind of small as well for splitting. So it's a great little axe for like limbing trees, and I use it a lot in the fall for when I'm rabbit snaring and that kind of thing. But when it comes to splitting firewood, especially in the winter time when you need a ton of firewood, it's a little too small, and the shape of the head is just not meant for splitting. So you can see how narrow the head is on it. It's just not a good splitter in my opinion, anyways. But it is a great quality axe, no doubt. They're hand forged in Sweden, I think. They are expensive as well, but yeah, anyways, just figured I'd mention that. I think I'll be bringing my bigger axe on camping trips from now on. Not such a big deal in the summertime when you don't really need a ton of firewood, but this time of year when you want to keep the fire going for most of the evening, it's nice to have something a little more efficient for splitting. So the type of wood also matters. I probably should mention that. So if you're somewhere where there's a lot of hardwood, it's probably much easier to split. So this little axe would probably be more than enough. But here in Newfoundland, at least in my area, 95% of the wood that I'm going to be burning is going to be softwood, mostly spruce in particular. So dry spruce is just not easy to split with a small axe. Not easy to split in general, but with a small axe like this, it's just tough. Alright, so I'm just cleaning out the old fire pit here a little bit, because I can already tell what's going to happen here when I light the fire. This is all ice, and it's kind of down in a hole. So as the fire gets going, this is all going to melt, and it's just going to pool up because it doesn't have anywhere to go. and that's going to put the fire out. So I'm just kind of trying to cut a little channel back through here, so as the ice melts, the water can kind of run back and get away from the actual fire pit. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but it's worth a try. And I know I shouldn't be chopping at the ground with my axe like this, but this is actually mostly ice here, so hopefully not going to hit too many rocks. I just touched up my axe before I came out this time too, so anyways, yeah, I don't want to just light the fire in the way it is there now, because the fire is going to have a hard time to stay going if it's just sitting in cool water. Oops, hit a rock that time. Oh no, broke my rock. These rocks are not doing a whole lot here anyways. I put them there back in the fall when it was just bare ground, just so the moss and stuff wouldn't catch on fire and nothing could get out of control on me. But right now, with all this ice and the ground still partially covered in snow, kind of unnecessary. But so yeah, I got a little channel right down through here. I don't know, hopefully as this ice melts, it'll run down that way. Some of it anyways, should help. All right, well, I was wondering why Molly was going around crying and barking and stuff. And it's almost 5 o'clock, so it's supper time. And Molly is not going to let me forget about her supper, I can tell you that much. So I'm going to feed the dogs. They got to take turns because I only brought one bowl. So Molly gets to go first. She's the senior. Let me get this out of your way, girl. Hold on, wait. There you go. Goose would rather chase sticks around than eat his supper anyway, so he's not too concerned. He's not as big of an eater as Molly. Labs are, or all the labs I've ever owned anyways, are just ravenous for food. And Molly's no different. She's, as soon as she gets up in the morning, first thing she goes looking for is her food. She'll down this now in about less than a minute. You're supposed to chew it, Molly. You're supposed to chew it, boy. He inhales it. Oh, almost lost the top of my kettle. The little handle came off. Well, just walked over to the brook here to get a bit of water for the kettle and for the dog's bowl. And I figured we'd take a little walk around the shore here, do a little bit of exploring. Man, what a beautiful day. Not a draft of wind. It's about plus 6 degrees Celsius. When I left the truck, I'd say it's around the same now. Dogs have a little run around, as long as they don't go out on that ice like I said earlier. So you can see where the moose have been feeding. I noticed this when we were walking into camp earlier. All these little shrubs here, you got all the tops chewed off them, all fresh cuttings. So I'm assuming that's moose. The only other thing I guess would be rabbit, but these are up kind of high off the ground for rabbits. But yeah, I'm assuming it's moose that have been feeding on these. All around this area is all fresh cuttings on the little shrubs and stuff. Molly's going for a swim or a dip. Well, we're back to camp here, so I'm gonna get the fire going here any minute now. Thirsty. Haven't been drinking enough water today. Anyways, since I've been talking a little bit about axes and saws and stuff, I should mention this knife that I'm carrying with me here today. So, this is a little neck knife. It's made by a fellow Newfoundlander and YouTuber Kyle Noseworthy. So I'm sure most of you guys, especially you guys from Newfoundland anyways, are more than familiar with Kyle. He's had a YouTube channel for years now. He's got a great channel. I think he's closing in on like 100,000 subscribers now, which is amazing. So yeah, he's got an awesome channel. But he's a knife maker as well. He makes all kinds of stuff actually. So go check out his channel if you've never seen it before by chance. I'm sure you have, like I said. But yeah, he makes awesome custom knives, and I bought this one off him probably about 2 years ago maybe. So this was my second knife that I bought from Kyle. I bought the first one I bought was his like bushcraft knife, which is called Tuckmore. So I use that one still all the time. Awesome knife. But I bought this this small one. This one's called the Bake Apple. Goose, you're right in the shot again, bud. So yeah, this model is called the Bake Apple. It's an awesome little knife. It's just a small knife, but it's meant to be like an EDC knife or a neck knife. So I bought this one off Kyle a couple years back, and when I bought it, it came with a belt sheath. So I've been wearing it on my belt. But recently I saw on his website that he's been making some lanyards. Actually, somebody else makes the lanyards. He sells them on his website, but they're made by someone else. But he makes the sheaths to go with them. And so yeah, I reached out to Kyle here a few weeks ago. Probably a little longer than that now, actually. But yeah, I told him I was interested in picking up a lanyard and a sheath so I could wear it around my neck. And so yeah, he sent me this sheath. I went on the website. He told me to go on and buy a lanyard because they're made by someone else. And then he actually made the sheath and sent that to me free of charge. So that was awesome. Really generous of him. But yeah, it's just an awesome little knife. So it's called the Bake Apple, like I said. Anyways, I'll put a link in the description. And he's got a ton of different models of knives, all custom made right here in Newfoundland. So go check out his page. Alright, time to get this fire going. Oh, I actually forgot I had this. This is a ferrule rod made by Kyle as well. So he makes these and sells them on his website. Or he used to anyways. It's been a couple years since I bought this one. But yeah, it's a big old thick ferrule rod. It looks like about a 1/2 inch. So yeah, this will last you a lifetime. Anyways, going to use that and the Bake Apple to get our fire going. So I went on a birch bark raid there a little while ago. Forgot to take the camera. It's a big old birch up behind camp here with a bunch of dead bark hanging off of it. Goose, I don't want to disappoint you, bud, but there's nothing here for you. Let's see if I can find you a stick here now in a minute. Come on, baby. There we go. So, no need to rush. When you get the flame, there's no need to rush. The first thing I'll do is put my ferro rod and my knife away so I don't lose it. I see a lot of people just throw their knife and ferro rod down on the ground because they're in a bit of a panic to try and get the fire, to get their kindling and stuff put on the fire, but there's no need to rush. Take care of your gear first. Whew. Catch myself on fire here if I'm not careful. Alright, well, check out this bad boy. Got a prime rib moose steak here. This is a huge slab of meat. I'd say it's a good inch or more thick. Must weigh a couple of pounds. At least a pound and a half for sure. Yeah, this is going to be good. I'm going to throw this on the grill, and I got some vegetables to fry up in the frying pan to go with it. It's going to be a good feed. There's no way I'm going to eat all this steak, so I'd say the dogs are going to get a bit of a treat here later on. Alright, steak is going on. Ho ho! Oh yeah! Alright, I'm calling it done. Starting to rain and I'm starving. I think the steak may still be a little underdone or a little rare, but I like it rare. So I think it's all good. what a feed this is going to be. Check this out. Woohoo! Goose, you're going to get some, bud, but you're not getting it yet. You're definitely going to get some. Just got to be patient. All right, let's get into the steak. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man. Deadly. So, gotta say a big thanks to Chris Farrell for this moose steak. So, I don't know if Chris watches these videos or not. He probably doesn't, but anyways, Chris got an outfitting company, Marguerite Outfitters. I did a duck hunt with him. I did 2 duck hunts with him this year, actually. Or one back in December and one again in February. So I got a duck hunt video on my channel. I'll put a tag up on top of the screen here if you haven't seen it. So yeah, I went duck hunting with Chris a couple of times, and the last time I was out there, he gave me this big old steak. And I've been hanging on to it, kind of saving it for an occasion like this, to come out and cook it up out in the woods. So I got lots of moose meat myself, but I didn't do any steaks. So when I saw, or when Chris offered me this steak there, I jumped on the opportunity, and I'm glad I did. Oh man, it's amazing. Anyways, guys, I'm just going to eat up the rest of this supper, and we'll check back here in a little while. Well, I had my fill of the steak, so the dogs are going to get the rest. Goose, here, sit. Come over, Molly. Come on. Sit. Good girl. Chew it up, bye. Oh, Molly's just inhaling it. She don't even chew. Here, Goose. Come on. Come here. Sit. Here. Sit. Good boy. There you go. Come on. You don't want it? There you go. Good girl. Well, hot chocolate time. So it's actually raining pretty good here now. So I got supper finished up just in time. And I cut up a little more firewood. And I stacked up my firewood underneath the tarp here with me. So keep it in out of the rain as much as I can. I don't have a whole ton of firewood, so it is what it is now. I'm not heading out. It's almost dark and it's raining, so it's not worth going out and looking for any more wood now in the dark and the rain. Molly finally settled down here under the tarp with me, but she just saw a goose wander over there, so she had to go check that out. Anyways, not a whole lot else happening here tonight, guys. Just gonna hang out under the tarp. It's gonna be completely pitch dark here shortly. The camera's actually making it look quite a bit lighter than it is. So yeah, just gonna enjoy the fire, have a hot chocolate, listen to a bit of music probably. Might have a coffee or something later on, and that'll be about it for the evening. We'll check in the morning. Oh man, well, it's about 4 o'clock here now, and once again we've been waking up by, I think it's coyotes. They're out on the ice here, right in front of camp. When I turn my headlamp on, I can actually see. I can see their eyes. The camera won't pick it up, I don't think. Yeah, the two dogs are on guard here now. Man, what a racket they're making. I got the camera out. I'm going to try to get some audio, but they've been just being quiet here since I got the camera out, of course. Anyways, hopefully they'll keep their distance. Morning. Well, made it through the night. So not gonna lie, that was a bit of a long night. So anyways, it was just after midnight or so. I think the wind really kicked up, and when it did, it got real cold. The temperature dropped big time. So yeah, it got pretty cold, and when the wind came up, the tarp and stuff was shaking a lot in the wind, and Molly just couldn't settle down. She kept getting up and kind of wandering out in the woods, and she was barking at the trees and stuff. So yeah, didn't get a great sleep. And then around 4 o'clock the coyote came. So man, that's the third trip now this year, or this winter, that I've had a coyote around camping in the middle of the night. So last night I heard it bark a couple of times. The dogs heard it too, woke us up. And it was just back behind our camp here. We heard it bark, and then a couple of minutes later it was over. It was close. It was just over by the stream there somewhere where we got our water for the kettle yesterday. And it was saying real close that time. And Goose jumped up and took off, and he ran towards it. But I yelled out to him, and he came right back. He didn't go that far, but. So yeah, he came back, and anyways, a couple of minutes later, I heard it again, and it was out on the ice right out in front of camp here, and it let out like a longer, like a howl noise, and so I turned my headlamp on, and I could actually see it out there on the ice. So that's when I turned the camera on. I figured I might be able to get some footage of it, but it was probably, I don't know, maybe 100 yards away. But
Yeah, it was weird. Like when I put the headlamp on it, it was shining right up. I could see it, no problem. It was crazy how good the light was hitting the coyote. I could see it, no problem. So I turned the camera on. I figured the camera might pick it up. I was kind of messing around with it, trying to zoom in and stuff, but I don't think it showed up on the camera. I was just too far away and it was too dark and stuff. But anyways, I can't seem to get any decent footage of the coyotes. So one of these days, I guess I will. Yeah, I didn't sleep much after that. I've just been kind of laying here waiting for daylight, basically. Trying to stay warm. I dozed off a couple times, but not a great sleep overall. So anyways, I kept a little bit of firewood last night, just enough to get the fire going this morning, and boil up some water for some coffee. But yeah, I probably won't be sticking around too long here this morning. I'll get some coffee and quick breakfast. Just brought some oatmeal for breakfast, so I'll probably have that, and then I'll be packing down camp, calling it a trip. Yeah, if I had my time back, I probably would have went with a different tarp configuration. I probably would have went with something a little more sheltered, like something a little lower. It gave me a little more shelter from the wind. I didn't think the wind was supposed to pick up, but it did, and like I said, it got a lot colder once that wind started to gust. But anyways, we survived. Wasn't that bad. Just another experience. Live and learn. That's what these trips are all about. Every trip I go out on, I figure out something that I should have done differently.
Well, we're all packed up here. Just gotta pack the camera and stuff in the bag, and I'm gonna be hiking out, calling it a trip. So that's gonna pretty much do it for this one. So we had a good night. Not the best night's sleep, but that's all part of the fun. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave me a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate all the support, so hope everyone's doing good. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one.